Hello, encouragers. I'm Rebecca Scott, wife, mother of 4, author, and owner and designer of Rebecca Scott Designs. I'm here to encourage you, to make you feel that I can do this spirit each and every day of our awesome journeys to fulfill our many important roles. I believe we are fully equipped to execute, and I will provide as much knowledge, practices, and systems as I can to help you understand just what I know you can do. Execute. We got this. Hello, encouragers, and welcome back. I am so excited to be back on the microphone telling you some new things that I've learned. The podcast, of course, is called The Encourager, and we've got kind of a new system going now where we're going to record about 6 to 7 podcasts, and then we're going to take a break, and then we'll go back to recording them. I had to get really real in my own personal life about all the different awesome roles that I get to do and what is manageable. And doing the podcast in 6-episode chunks is totally manageable, and I'm able to really tell you everything that I'm learning so that I can help you learn new and awesome things and not make the same mistakes that I have been. So, you guys, you know what? I'm just your vehicle for change, and I am your constant encourager. I want to tell you this word because I know if you're anything like me, you jump up and down when you hear these kind of words. Hacks, because basically it's something that you can do faster and better. And the word productivity. I know the angels are opening up when you hear that word. And if the two words are together, good glory, it's the best thing. A productivity hack? Yes, please sign me up. Okay, so I want to tell you what my number 1 productivity hack is. And if you're gearing yourself up for something awesome, I think you might be let down because it's not a very sexy word, but it is totally my number 1 productivity hack. And that is my agenda sheet. I have a weekly agenda sheet. And I know that I've mentioned it before, but I wanted to go into a little bit more detail for you and to describe to you just how seriously organized it helps me to be for the week and getting all my things on my brain onto this sheet. And I just feel so much more organized. I get so much more momentum. And then I also, this is my favorite part, I get to crumple it up. Yeah, I get to crumple it up at the end of the week because it is complete after I've printed the next week and moved anything over that I needed to. But the point is, I do get to crumple it. And I don't know if you're like me, but I love to crumple me a piece of paper when it's done and filled and all those things. So what is it? It's a sheet of paper that I print off every week. I print it off on Friday afternoons, and it has Monday through Friday on it with bullet points of things that happen on each individual day. You know, I talk about theme days, meaning what are you going to do each day of the week? And believe me, I will preach here a little bit. If you have not come up with your theme days, what you do on each day for your business and your family, you need to take the time to do it. And it may take you 3 hours to sit down and go, well, what am I going to do on Mondays? What am I going to do on Tuesdays and Wednesdays and Thursdays and Fridays? But this will seriously change your life. So I need you to have theme days. And we've talked about that, and you can listen to several podcasts about it, or plug here, preaching here. You can take my course and I will teach you about theme days. Anyways, okay. So it has my theme days on it. So what I do on Monday may be different than what I do on Thursday, but I got a kind of general idea. So at the top of every sheet where it says Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, there's cute little boxes that I did not create, but my awesome executive assistant, Angie, created that I get to check mark off. And it's just a way of tackling certain things on certain days to stay in that zone and batch similar tasks together. Because you know what it's like when you get an order and you're like, wait, I have it. I can ship it today. So I'm going to stop whatever I'm doing and I'm going to ship that today. And I'm going to take 15 minutes to do it. But then I'm going to take 5 minutes to actually look up and triple check to make sure I got the right size and I got the right piece. And then I'm going to stop doing whatever it was I was doing that I actually had a little bit of focus on and do this. How's that working for you? It's not. Pick a shipping day. Pick a theme day, and you put that order on that shipping day. And it may be twice a week, depending on the size of your business or whatever it is you're doing. But this agenda sheet will keep you accountable to focusing on what that theme day has in store for you. So, for example, we're going to walk through mine. Take what you can from it, develop it, and make it into your own. But I highly encourage you to have this agenda sheet. For one, it's paper. And there's something about paper. First of all, you can carry it with you or you don't have to. if you have your calendar digital, and I would not, say this is the end all be all by any means, because there's a lot of great digital tools out there for calendar. For me and my anxiety, as far as like feeling like I have to do all the things, I needed to have it paper because I can leave it behind. And when somebody asks me about something on the calendar, I can say, I got to go home and look at it, or I got to get in front of my calendar. Because if I have it with me, then I have to answer it on right then and there. And I don't do well with answering questions right away because I'm a yes woman, just like a lot of you guys are. And you want to do everything awesome and you want to be of help. And I make better choices when I have to leave the calendar at home and say, I'll need to look at it and study it. And then I can make a better choice even with my husband as well. So that is particularly why I like the agenda sheet being on paper. But I would totally be open to if you had an agenda sheet on your phone, as long as it made that fancy strike through noise when you get it done. I know you're giggling because you know what it is. And those of you who love that sound know that there's a little strike through noise. Okay. Anyways, so I'm going to give you an idea of what my Monday looks like. On the first thing, it says lunch, snack, and supper. You've heard me talk about throughout the years that I always plan out the food by 7:30 a.m. because the food is so much brain space when you're constantly asking yourself all throughout the day, what's for supper? What's for lunch? What's for snack? So those are 3 things that I've prioritized for my family that I do plan out. So then I write, what did I make for lunch, snack, and supper, and make sure I kind of got it in my brain if I need to prep anything later. Like I can't start the crock pot at 7 a.m. if it's a recipe for 5 hours, that sort of thing. So I'll make a little note in those fields, start the crock pot at 5 because I've already prepped it, but maybe I can't start it till later. So I have on Monday, lunch, snack, and supper. Then I call Angie at 9 a.m. And note to self, you guys, I do have a podcast coming called How to Hire an Executive Assistant, and Angie's going to be on it. Whoa, crowd goes wild. Everybody wants to know what it's like to have to work with me and all these awesome ideas. Well, I got somebody awesome to help me execute these ideas, but we are going to record a podcast with her, okay? So I have a call with Angie at 9 a.m., and I'll talk to you guys in the podcast about what that looks like. Then I do Every Dollar. That is a budgeting tool from Dave Ramsey. So I get on my internet banking quick. I make sure to move any money around or where it needs to go. And I just make sure that I get to do that every day because it helps us stay accountable to being good stewards of the awesome money God has given us. Then I have a checkpoint for Instagram and the Snapchat story. So it means I record 3 videos that I want to be able to post on that platform. Then I have a one that says the Encourager Mentor Minute, where I record a minute for you guys, just encouraging you for that day or maybe that podcast subject that just lets you know what's going on in the studio. Then I have on there interfacing back to back. And that just means when Brenda comes to drop off some of the purses and stuff, I have to put the interfacing to the back of it. And it's a really good 40 to 45 minutes. Sometimes it lasts an hour, depending on the workload, for me to just really hone in on feeling the fabric, knowing what's in the work order. I freakishly love this time. And sometimes I get to do that while I'm on the phone with Angie. And then it's 5 blank lines so that I can fill it in for that particular Monday. Because as much as we would say we love our weeks to be so well organized, and I listen to a lot of podcasters that are like, I do this on Monday no matter what. That part is true, but sometimes they're men in their 60s who aren't raising small children and going to dentist appointments and soccer practice, right? So each week is a little bit different in this stage of life. So then I can write on these blank forms what else is happening on this particular Monday that I need to take note of. So like a couple of the notes that I wrote here was like, Square renegotiate. I want to call Square and renegotiate my fees. I want to print off some new affirmations. I want to redesign or rethink through the handles on one of the purses. And I need to order a pencil sharpener. Like, those are the kind of things that I put in the bullet points. Some of the things that you write down throughout the day that are to-dos could go on these lines. Just make sure that when you put on those lines, they're executable, meaning you will be able to cross them off for that Monday. Like, don't put too many things on these lines. I also do that on purpose, because you do want to keep just your focus on the big frogs that I talk about, not everything. So that's a Monday. A Tuesday, same thing. Lunch, snack, and supper. Any notes that I need to make about that food. And then it's Surge and Kits. That's the only thing on Tuesday. Because surging and kits takes me quite a significant amount of time. It's actually my favorite day of the week. I love using my serger. It is my favorite machine. So that's the only thing I put on Tuesdays. I don't make appointments on Tuesdays. It's almost always a crock pot meal or a 9x13 of something because that day is packed full of surging and kits. I also do things when I'm serging and kitting, mean I listen to certain podcasts or an audiobook while I'm doing that, but I have rules that I've put around that Tuesday, and that's it. And then there's 4 bullet points for the natural things that happen in life, meaning soccer practice, write my newsletter, if I need to pay anybody a bill, I see one of those on there, any big picture ideas. The other thing that I always do on Tuesdays is keep my agenda sheet next to my serger so that if I think of a big idea or something, I can jot it down on there. Because as I will talk about throughout this, I have a little paragraph on my agenda sheet that says other tasks or big picture. Isn't that great? So instead of stopping serging and going quick and Googling whatever my next big idea is, I simply write it on the agenda sheet and stay back focused on serging. But at least I get to get the initial part out. I get to look at it and go, oh my gosh, a breast cancer pillow would be so cool. And then I write it down and go back to serging instead of going to Google the next pink awesome fabric, right? You know who you are. Well, I do the same thing. So then on Wednesday, again, lunch, snack, supper, and then errands. Remember, I have theme days where I run all of my errands on one day. It has saved me so much time. If there was one thing that I could say, the one thing that saves me the most time per week is running my errands on one day. If this is my number one productivity hack, that is for sure. My number one time hack is running all of my errands in one day. For me, that does include grocery shopping, seeing my grandma, and then also pickups and drop-offs with my seamstresses. Then the other part for Wednesday, I usually wrap up running the errands by about noon. Then I do a coworker confession. I write that out for Erin that you guys get to see on our Facebook Encourager page. And then the rest is fit and finish. And that is a process within the sewing that I get to do. So I pin everything together and get all those parts. And then I sew for the afternoon. Wednesday is also the night that I get to work late. My whole family knows it, and it's just in the books that Becca gets to work late on Wednesday nights. And sometimes, you guys, I get my work done by 6 p.m. So then the rest of the evening, I actually choose to do more leadership type things or plan or designing things. So even if it's not actual sewing that I do late, which it used to be, but it's not so much anymore because of the awesome team members I have, it is still vision planning and executing on some of those things that spill over, that naturally happens. So that's Wednesday. So if you guys have been encouraged today by this weekly agenda sheet, I really want you to think about taking my Encourager Master course. It's part of a mastermind group where we meet with 4 to 6 awesome classmates and myself, where I will coach alongside you for 6 months. It's an awesome course where I walk you through the contents of my book, Equipped to Execute, Guiding Moms to Joyfully Impact Family and Business, but it doesn't just have to be for moms or for business owners. This course is to help you get your life back on track, to pick out these theme days that we've been talking about, to block out your weeks, how to work through derailments, and how to execute on all of your goals. Sometimes we have all the motivation, but none of the direction. Like you're really, really motivated, but you don't necessarily have the direction. I can help you narrow down what that direction is. And that's what I want to do in the Encourager Master Course. So please check that out for the times that they open up at different points of the year. And it's available at theencouragerpodcast.com. Find out when the next mastermind course is starting. And I'd love to have you be a part of it. On Thursday, the bullet points: lunch, snack, supper, journal to kiddos, and P.S. plug here, I have an awesome journal that you can buy for your kiddos so you won't ever feel guilty about not scrapbooking or snapping every photo or printing every photo for that matter. You will be able to journal for them. It's available on the website at theencouragerpodcast.com. $20, you guys. Great tool to be able to give them when they're 18. So I journal to the kiddos on Thursday mornings. Then I write my grandma's a letter. Yes, that is on there. If I looked at your calendar, does it have all your priorities on there? So yeah, I got to write mine down. Grandma letters, then I do Instagram and Snapchat, do a couple more videos or fillers for them. I do my deposits on Thursday. That means I get to look at my bank account, find out how many times I had a deposit that week, and put it into the different buckets. Put it into the operating expenses, the materials and contractors, taxes, booth fees, pay to self, all those things I do on Thursday. And then another meaty one for Thursday is I design the work order. And that just means I collect all of the orders that were placed that week. I make sure I have all the fabric. I start designing the stock tab, which for me means the stuff that goes on our shelf or to the boutiques or to the shows with me. Not necessarily what people ordered that is on the work order, but I have to design the stock tab, all the stuff that I want to sell that I came up with and I designed. So that's on Thursdays. Thursday afternoons is usually really booked with the designing the stock tab. And then I also, if I get some time, I design and research a new RSD product. And then I record and write podcasts on Thursdays. So Thursdays, as you can tell, ba-bam. So there's only 2 blank lines on Thursdays because the rest is just so meaty. So I hardly plan anything for Thursdays because it's a busy day. It's also one of my favorite days because it involves so much of fabric. And you know how I feel about that. And then Friday, again, lunch, snack, supper, new designs and new pattern making is for Fridays. I love when I get to do something new. And then also there's only 2 bullet points on Friday also because I need to reserve that time. If I don't have new customers or new products, the business is failing. I don't want that to happen. So that's what I get to do on Fridays. And admittedly, as I'm sure it is with you guys, there's a lot of carryover on Friday. So I'm taking care of other bullet points that I wasn't able to complete during the week. And then I also do another video for the Encourager. That's it for Friday. So that's what a typical week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday looks like. And the thing that it's also good about is if I do need to take a day off for a field trip or a trip with my husband to Dakota Fest, which is like an agricultural get-together, what does my Thursday look like? You want me to go on Thursday? Really? Are you sure it's on Thursday? And Nicholas is like, yes, honey, it's on Thursday, and I'd like you to go with me. Okay. So I take a look. What does it say? Lunch, snack, and supper, journal to the kiddos, grandma's letters. Can I disperse this into another day this week? Or do I tell him I'm going to work late on Wednesday night, even later, because I want to get this done so that I can prioritize him? But here's the beauty of it. I don't have delays then. You know when something comes up and you're like, gosh, I really wish I could do that. You know what? I'm going to live my life. I'm going to do that because that's important. Yes, it is important. But then you're stressing out when you get back because you didn't plan where to disperse the other things because you didn't know what the other things were. This sheet allows you to know what the other things are. We're going to see if we can come up with some kind of generic version for this, or at least you can get a snapshot of what it looks like so that you could plan yourself an agenda sheet. I swear someday we're going to charge for this because it's an amazing thing. Also, at the beginning of mine, it says my word of the year. I love that. My word of the year for 2019 is pursuit. I am on pursuit of the nation. Okay, I don't have Saturday and Sunday on there, but maybe your job requires you to have Saturday and Sunday. I may have some notes on Friday that say, hey, pack for the show, because I go to a show all day on Saturday, or baptism on Sunday, or gift for the wedding, you know, things like that that deal with the weekend, but I do not like to bullet point out the weekend on my agenda sheet. But confession, I mean, I wouldn't be myself if I didn't actually confess this. On Saturday, I do have a to-do list, but it's on an index card, and it's things that are awesome that I want to get done, like home decor stuff that I love to do when I have a free Saturday, but I don't put it on my agenda sheet. It's just kind of like a matter of principle. Like, no, I'm not putting weekend things on my weekly to-do list so that I can have also the permission to take all of Saturday off and all of Sunday off if I need to. Or if I want to write bullet points because that's what makes me happy, do it. I totally get it, you guys. I'm on the same page. Then there's another little paragraph underneath Friday that says other tasks. So that might be a little bit bigger project. So mine says buy the Safe House book. It has a couple other design ideas, which I can't even say on the podcast, you guys, because they're so cool. Family affirmations for the car. I'd like to be featured in Country Living magazine. So that is underneath the other task little paragraph here. I have a really cool project that I can't even say here, lined up for giving in a charity. And any podcast reminders or workshop reminders if I've got a workshop coming up. So I write that there. And then, of course, the paragraph that I told you a little bit earlier called Big Picture. Now, the big picture is those things that are like the shiny ball when you're working on something and you're a squirrel like me where it's like, oh my gosh, wouldn't that be awesome? And then you start obsessing over it and writing your plan for it and how you're going to design it and what it's going to look like. And you're already 3 or 4 steps in. I actually write that here first because then I can discover if it was just my natural creative gene or if it is something that I want to explore more into, and I don't have to stop focusing when the thought came to me when I was doing something else. Okay, it's awesome. It's awesome. The weekly agenda sheet will change your life. It is my number one productivity hack because I get to check mark it off. It's got this fancy box. And at the end of the week, debate like if you ever felt like you didn't get anything done. And when you know that you did, and all of your family says, honey, you nailed it. You did so much. You're like, but I know I did a lot, but it doesn't feel like it's moving the ball, or I'm all over the place. You can look at this and know that you are, in fact, not all over the place. You did those things on Monday, and maybe if they weren't done on Monday, you did them on Wednesday and referred back to them for Monday. This sheet is amazing. It makes me feel productive. It makes me feel organized. It makes me feel like I have momentum, and it definitely points out that I do have clear priorities. My husband is on there. My children are on there. Preparing their food is on there. Taking care of myself. I even have buy bath bombs. Well, that's self-care, so that's on there, right? So I highly recommend starting some kind of weekly agenda sheet. Jot down your days, Monday through Friday. Would be really cool to have your sales goals on there so that you can make little tally marks, like maybe you sell a service or maybe you sell a product, where you could have some kind of number or goal sheet on there. So at the end of the week, before you get to awesomely tear it up and throw it away, you can go, yep, I met it or I didn't, and then kind of spend some time reflecting on what you could have changed or rearranged during that week to more meet your sales goals. So what this sheet has ultimately done, this number one productivity hack, is that it's completely eliminated a planner. I still have the calendar, which I've talked about frequently with you. I just have a regular size calendar with the tiny boxes that are like 1.5 inches by 1.5 inches because it's any bigger, and I fill it in. I know who you are. I'm the same way. So I just buy that. So I have the calendar, and then I have my agenda sheet. And I can carry things over from week to week if I need to. And then I also use some 4x6 cards if I've got any other ideas or tasks that just naturally happen and I'm not where my agenda is. But man, it really has eliminated sticky notes. And even those 4x6 cards, I don't use them near as frequently. I used to go through 6 packs. Boy, I bet at least 2 packs a month. And now I just use this agenda sheet. My brain is clear. I'm more able to focus, and I'm more able to gain momentum because it's on one sheet of paper. Number one productivity hack. If you plan to fail or race or try to keep up or just to tread water, you will do just that. You'll be treading water the rest of time. But I don't know about you, but I was tired of treading water. I was tired of trying to keep up. I wanted to get ahead. So now with this agenda sheet, I plan, I swim the lap, I get out, and I conquer. No more treading. You guys, encouragers, you know you can do this. You've already been equipped to do every awesome role God has made you for. This agenda sheet will give you a basic outline of how you can do it for your week. Just one of my productivity hacks. I highly encourage it. Until next time, encouragers, we got this. Hey, encouragers, if you're feeling overwhelmed, if you've had the scene where you're crying because there's no way you can meet all the roles in your life, I've been there. I've so been there, but I'm not there anymore. And I know how you can get out of that slump and start executing on all the things that God has equipped you to do. You can pick up my book at equippedtoexecute.com, also on my website at shoprSD.com, and it's also available on Amazon. Thank you for tuning in, encouragers. Remember to subscribe so it's automatically on your phone, and please rate and review me. We got this, encouragers.